Best from Reddit. Ex-smokers who successfully quit and have been smoke-free for years now. What did it? Dumbest and least relatable reason incoming. My housemate wanted me to smuggle cigarettes, but I didn't want to, so I said I'd be airy. Recently quit and didn't want to be tempted to smoke by having thousands of them around, so I had to keep up the lie at that point. I'm probably like a lot of former smokers that tried to quit a number of times before being successful. Then a friend and I were out fishing and he began talking about quitting smoking. He wanted to bet 50 that he could outlast me. Beer drinking and trash talking commenced and the bet got up to $500. So I am way too cheap to lose a bet like that, and so I went weeks without the butts. My friend came around, admitted that he was back on the smokes, and paid up the $500. I was tempted to go back, but it was feeling so much better without the cigs, kept it going. I bought a pack of cigarettes, my last one, and put it on that bowl next to the door where you put your keys. When I was a smoker, I always felt more in need of a smoke if I didn't have a pack. I sometimes went to buy cigarettes in the middle of the night just to not feel that. I decided to stop 1 minute at a time. Each time I wanted to smoke, I would tell myself in 10 minutes if I still want to smoke, I will, and then just move on to something else. Do not sit in front of a timer waiting. Usually a couple of minutes later, the need is not as urgent anymore. You don't have to think about an eternity smoke-free, you just need to make it 1 minute at a time. Eventually it had been 3 weeks, and I wasn't about to ruin my efforts, then 3 months, then a year, and no, it had been 7 years. I have one of those apps that tell you how much your health improved as you stay smoke-free. Another thing is that I kept on hanging out with smokers. I wanted to stay exposed to my environment. So far, so good. I still get cravings, but I don't act on them. But once a smoker, always a smoker, I could relapse if I start smoking again. Drove 10 hours with my father-in-law in the car. He smoked a pipe and inhaled it. At one point he coughed so hard he puked out the window. Quit the next day. Lifestyle changes. First, no smoking while driving and, by extension, working. Second, no cigarettes at home. I had to pick up a pack before hitting a bar or another smoking-allowed environment. Then, I quit drinking. The hedonism of chain smoking and taking shots are too intertwined for me. I am 4 years smoke-free. I have a serious mouse phobia. So, when I decided I no longer wanted to smoke, I would force myself to look at picture videos of rodents. My brain quickly started associating smoking with mice. For me, it was taking one tiny step after another. Just go till lunchtime. Okay, now go till tea time. Great job. See if you can do a whole day. Fantastic. How about 2 days? Brilliant. And I'll bet you can't manage a week? And so on. That was 23 years ago. It was hell, but oh so worth it. I had a mantra that helped me in darker moments. I'd rather be 45 wishing I could smoke than 65 wishing I hadn't. Now I'm that 65-year-old, and I thank that former me every single day. My grandfather smoked heavily for most of his life and suffered from dementia in his later years. My grandmother decided to help him stop smoking. One morning he went outside to his usual spot and his ashtray and cigarettes weren't there. He asked my grandmother, "Where are my smokes?" She replied, "Smokes? What are you talking about? You've never smoked a day in your life." He bought it. Gotta be cruel to be kind, I guess. Went out one Thursday evening with some friends and friends of friends back when you could smoke in the pub. Got chatting to a girl, hit it off, and at the end of the night said our goodbyes and partied with a vague plan to meet up again, maybe next week. Friday lunchtime, lasagna and a pint with some of the group from the night before, when having a couple of pints at lunchtime was acceptable. I lit up a cigarette after eating, and the friend who had introduced me to the girl the previous night mentioned, "Oh, you know that girl you were talking to last night? She's not a big fan of smoking." I thought for a brief moment, stubbed out my Camel, crumpled up the packet that was left, threw my lighter, and have not been tempted to light up since. That was 1990, and this May, we will have been married for 32 years. I read Alan Carr's Easy Way to Stop Smoking. I promise I'm not being paid for this. The comedian Paul F. Tompkins smoked for years but quit after reading this book, and would recommend it to anybody who wanted to try. I'm a big fan of his, so I decided it couldn't hurt. As soon as I started the book, I realized what it was doing. I figured I was way too smart for it and that it would never work, even though I understood the points it was making and the psychology it was using. I continued to smoke as I was reading it, as the book instructs you to do, and was absolutely sure the cute little tricks it was using would never work and that I had just wasted $10. I finished the book, threw away the unsmoked half of the pack I was on, and haven't had so much as a craving since. I don't even vape. I've had absolutely no cravings and no nicotine in any way for almost 10 years now. I cannot explain it, but it worked immediately, in a way that nothing had worked up to that point, and wholeheartedly recommend it to anybody who is serious about quitting. ETA. Worth pointing out, it's not a magic bullet, and it doesn't work for everybody. To paraphrase a reply, it seems most effective on people who have a firm commitment to quitting but just haven't been able to make it stick for whatever reason. If you've tried everything but nothing's worked and you really truly don't want to be a smoker anymore, it's worth a shot. ETA 2. I just turned off notifications for this post because I really need to go to work and I'm getting like 10 replies a minute. I'm glad so many people have experienced success with this book and that so many others are interested in it. If you have questions, just read it. 5-degree Fahrenheit to Celsius weather in February, and I was standing outside community college and feeling like a real asshole. I thought to myself, what if there was some jerk of a boss who told me I had to stand outside for 5 minutes every hour, in the cold and heat and rain, throw away a quarter and get stinky? I'd tell him to kiss my ass. Well, that was my mentality. I got angry. I didn't quit cold turkey, but I allowed myself 5 a day, then 4, then 3, then I stopped smoking in my car. I'd look at that jerk I was holding between my fingers and get mad at this imaginary boss. Sometimes I wouldn't even finish it. I'd get my extra minty gum and head back inside. It took months, but I set an end date, and the day I graduated was the last time I had a cigarette, May 14th, 2003. I convinced myself that it was gross. Do you have an old soda can of butts on your porch? Think about drinking it. Have you ever smelled someone who just smokes and drinks black coffee? They smell like literal poop. Think about that. It makes you smell poopy. Gross yourself out. I met a girl who did not smoke. I decided that if I wanted to be together with her, I needed to quit. I still have cravings every so often, and I do occasionally have a cigarette at a party, but never more than once every couple of years. And the moment I have it, I regret it, as it no longer tastes good or feels good, just makes my mouth taste like an ashtray and makes me queasy. I'm very glad for that fact, if I'm honest, resets that craving for another couple of years. I was honest with myself that it was just a habit that I didn't really enjoy. If I had nostalgia for a ciggy and had one, after smoking about half, I felt a bit sick. It was my morning coffee and ciggy routine, so I just switched to coffee, Wordle, and it's all good now. Similar to the mouse person, I guess, but every time I think about smoking like I really need to smoke, I replace smoke or cigarette with poison. So I'll say, I miss having poison, or I need poison, all in my head. Once you get past withdrawal, which lasts about a week. COVID. 10 plus years smoking 1 to 2 packs a week. Got sick with COVID. Couldn't smoke for 2 weeks. Got my taste and smell back. Now they disgust me. I take 0 credit here. Edit to add, I got sick with COVID but not sick. I was vaccinated. Felt crappy for sure, but was not hospitalized. COVID changed my taste buds or something. That's why I take no credit. I got the flu and my body decided it hated them. LSD. I saw the truth. I felt and tasted the decay and disgustingness in my body in a really deep way. Cold turkey. It was so easy to let it go after that one experience. If you really want to quit, you will. Also, psychedelics will often show you what you need to see in a profound way. It's something to consider. Juul was invented. I had tried so many times to quit. Even other vapes. For whatever reason, Juul did the trick. I switched from cigs to Juul, and then from Juul to lozenges, and then tapered off the lozenges until I was totally nicotine-free. I honestly never thought I could do it. I started smoking at 14 with the idea that I'd quit one day. On my 28th birthday, I realized it has been half my life smoking. It took a few months of resolve, but I quit cold turkey, and a few Nicorette. In December 1988, cleared the nicotine hurdle in a week to 10 days. The oral fixation took over a year to break. That was the toughest part of quitting. I still had cravings for cigarettes, but not the nicotine. Never went back because quitting was hard. If you liked this video, don't forget to put a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave comments with your stories below. Watch our other videos, and thanks for watching.